Hi, thank you for watching any video blog. I got many questions why I didn't participate in the Netflix movie The Man with 1,000 Kids. People say like, well, if you participated you could share your story. Why didn't you do that? It's strange that you don't do it. I think it's suspicious that you don't do it or that you didn't do it. So today I will explain why, what is the reason that I didn't do it. And there's multiple, but today I will focus on a reason that I didn't participate, and it is about the current events. Now when I say in interviews that I think that, for example, music industry, movie industry, entertainment industry, Hollywood, that they're not good, that they're evil, I mean this very seriously.
Decide to not comment.
Yeah, they asked me and they were very vague at first, so they wouldn't say it was Netflix. And then finally they would say it will be a 3-part series for Netflix, and I declined. Because to me, Hollywood, music industry, Netflix, they're not really, for me personally, they're not very good parties.
Having watched it, do you wish you had been involved and you'd been able to sit and answer the questions from some of those mothers and those families that feel like you have sort of had a detrimental effect on their lives?
No, I was very happy that I didn't participate, 100%, because
I started to be awakened about this industry the moment also when I started to be a donor, or maybe a little bit before, a few years before. In my early 20s, I found out that Hollywood, the music industry, they're a propaganda machine. They work not to create beautiful art, uplifting art. No, they work to make propaganda. To put you in a low frequency state so that they can control you and that you will not be free, first of all, but moreover you will not make contact with God and your ancestors and nature. And they try to persuade you with drugs, sex and their horrible music, because they don't make any great music, they make bad music, low frequency music, bad melodies, repetitive lyrics, and it's all very numbed down. The same goes for their movies. A few exceptions there, but most of the Hollywood movies are about death, are about gambling, pornography, sex, drugs, you name it, all the sins possible. And they focus extremely much on death, on fighting, aggression, as constant swearing, and it's really all about low frequency and low energies. And I discovered this in my early 20s as I was following a few very good preachers, and they opened my eyes for the demonic side of the music, film and entertainment industry. And from that moment I said, I don't want anything to do with it. I will not buy their records, I will not go to their movies, I will not contribute to their evil ways. And how surprising, 20 years later, we can see that this whole industry, music, movie, entertainment industry, is filled with vile and demonic personalities. I don't say people because they're still God's people, but they have portrayed their personality as a very demonic, vile and evil personality. Now the current events, for example, around P. Diddy, shows how evil, demonic and vile these personalities are. How extremely demonic they behaved. Treating humans as just objects, lust objects, and forcing them as a slave to fulfill their sexual needs and maybe also their dark spiritual needs, because it's not only about lust, it's more about a deeper nourishing of their dark spiritual force. And we saw it also with this Weinstein guy, you know, the movie mogul. He did the same with Epstein, with his island. Now we see finally, hey, these people are evil. They are not there with good intention. They don't want to create good art. They don't like that. They abuse beauty and art for their own dark spiritual powers. That is why I didn't want to participate in anything regarding Netflix. That is why I will never participate in anything regarding Netflix. Because they are the same dark, evil production company like all these other dark and evil production companies. And of course, we can clearly see what they do with the movie Cuties, where they portray little children as sex objects in a horrendous way. And the list goes on. If you watch Netflix, it's all about death, murder, gambling, darkness, nihilism, pornography, swearing, gossip. It's all low frequency material. You don't find beautiful movies about nature, traditional families, greatness of living traditionally. Of course not. It's all low frequency. It's all black and red. The lowest of the lowest frequencies. And of course, I don't want to participate in something like that. I don't want to be part of the gang, of the P. Diddy gang, of the Weinstein gang, of the Epsteins, of all these people that are surrounded by them. It's not for me. And this darkness, this strange thing is also that takes place in a city that is called Los Angeles, the Angels. And you wonder if it's Angels of Darkness, or was it founded Angels of Light, the Angels of God? Who knows? But that is the reason that I didn't participate. I don't want to sign a contract with a cult that is promoting nihilism, that is worshipping to be a sinner, that preys upon young people, that fights the existence of new life, as you can see in the movie about me. They fight the idea that there's a guy helping others. They turn it upside down. They make it in something bad, something negative, a low frequency. They turn it into a horror movie. And you might be surprised that this Josh Elliott is known as a filmer of horror movies. You see, with all this darkness, I don't want to have nothing to do with that. Because I walk in the light. I want to do good things like I've always done. As a hard worker, a blue-collar donor, a mini donor. Voluntarily helping people in the best possible way with creating their families, creating new life, the beauty of new life. That's always been my mission, to help others by spreading goodness. And I never charged any money for it. I never demanded any sexual pleasure. When that happened, it was always mutual agreement, with consent, and in a wonderful, loving way. So that is why I didn't want to participate. I didn't want to participate because I know that this whole industry, music, entertainment, movie industry, they're all rotten to the core. They are funded by bankers to keep us in a low frequency state so that we will obey, so that we stay slaves of the system, of the death-ridden system, and we will not open our eyes. Because if we would see the beauty of life, if we would open up our eyes, we would see the beauty of life. And we would leave this rotten system, this death-ridden system, immediately. And you can see here, the system is rotten to the core. They try to keep us separated from nature, from real nature. And that's what they do. Through all that they do, it's all about separating us from the light, from God, from our ancestors, from nature, the Son, Jesus, family, creating a family. They tear it down and they want to make everything that's beautiful and wonderful and innocent and little and small, just as what the donorship is for me, just doing something for somebody else without getting money, without wanting anything in return, not getting famous for it. They want to destroy that. That's their whole mission, and that's why I don't participate with them. I don't sign the contract. I refuse. The only contract that I sign is with God. And I will follow only God. Because I know instantly that it's the best way. And of course everybody would understand if they would open their eyes. But they don't like it. They want you to be their slave in their system. And that's why they bomb you with propaganda through, for example, Netflix. And they will not hide it. They will show you the red and black and the rainbow colors in the end. They will show you we're keeping you in this frequency. When you watch this, you give consent to stay in a low frequency. So don't complain later that you are in this frequency, that you are depressed, that you don't feel good, that you don't see any beauty in life, that you, etc., etc. You sign a contract the moment you get the subscription with Netflix and you start watching this garbage. And if I would have signed a contract, received maybe, I don't know, 50,000 euros or dollars, $50,000, I cannot complain. I cannot say anything because I signed the contract. The deal is set. With my blood, because that's what you do. Your sign is your blood. You sign away your rights. And I couldn't say nothing anymore because I signed a contract. And I don't want that. I want to live in freedom. I want to stay away as far as possible from these evil companies that created the P. Diddy's, the Weinsteins, the Epsteins, and what else. That's not for me. I'm fighting every day to become closer to God, closer to nature, closer to my ancestors and my family. So that was it for today. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.